So Mitre 10 Cup Week 7, Round 7. I got the Canterbury gear on today because Auckland lost. Unbeaten run has come to a close. It was an interesting week in terms of a couple of championship teams getting wins over their premiership rivals. Not even rivals, it's not supposed to be rivals. Premiership teams getting upset anyway by teams from the championship a couple of times, so that makes things a bit interesting because up until now, recent weeks, we've seen a few hidings, so it's kind of good to see a few closer games and, like I said, a few teams who are supposed to be getting beaten actually picking up upset wins. The first one was Hawke's Bay, 55 points to 41 over Northland. That was just a crazy game. At halftime, it was Northland 38, Hawke's Bay 24. So it was a ridiculous game. 14 tries. Crazy. Matty Wright got a couple. Debrasini looks pretty good. I think Rugby Pass even did a bit of a piece on him recently, kind of coming into good form at Mitre 10 Cup. He looks okay when he's played for the Rebels at Super Rugby, so I'm assuming he's going to get offered a contract by somebody. But a lot of guys look really good at Mitre 10 Cup level and don't quite have that same impact at Super Rugby level. So we'll see how he goes next season if he does manage to pick up a contract. He is certainly in good form for Northland and is a very good acquisition. The Hawke's Bay centre, I forget his name, was it Ely? He got a couple of tries. But yeah, it was a pretty good game all round. Very entertaining. Not much defence. Because, yeah, you can tell when there's 14 tries. There was a lot of attacking going on. And, yeah, definitely a high-scoring game. But a bit of fun. Started the week off well, 55 points to 41. Next game, not so entertaining. It was a fairly scrappy one. Manawatu 17 over Bay of Plenty 15. Yeah, two teams kind of desperate for a win. Perhaps that was part of it, but it was scrappy, like I said. The Bay of Plenty scrum was really monstering Manawatu. Manawatu's scrum, you know, despite having, you know, a guy like Ala Alatoa in there, yeah, really under a lot of pressure. Bay of Plenty, though, missed a conversion from virtually right out in front and ended up being a 2-point difference at the end. Bay of Plenty had a chance to win this one with a long-distance penalty right at the death, but it was well off target. On the bright side, though, if you're a Blues fan, Oct Black is having a pretty decent season so far from his injury coming back. His night with the boot was a pretty good one for Manawatu, and that ended up being the difference. If they could just get that scrum sorted, they might be in a better position than when they're at. They are 2 wins and 6 losses for 6th in the championship. Is that right? Yeah, I know them and Bay of Plenty are right near the bottom anyway. Next one was Auckland 26, Otago 31. I went to this game. First game for me of the season, and it was an Auckland loss. Unbeaten run ended the one time I actually got out and went to a game. I managed to palm the kids off onto the grandparents. 26 points to 31. Met up with Driving Mall, who's a YouTuber some of you guys are probably aware of. He's as nice in person as he was online. But yeah, not a great night in terms of an Auckland fan, but a big win for Otago, man. First time they've won in Auckland for a while. I think their record in Auckland is not great, so it was a very good game for them. They took their chances early on. Auckland had them under the pump. Faddis ended up getting 3 tries. Big result for them. Manu got a couple for Auckland, but it's their first loss of the season. Otago go 4 wins and 3 losses now. They are up into 4th in the championship. Auckland are down from 1st into 3rd in the premiership, so still got that double header week to come as well for Auckland. So it's not all plain sailing. The next one, Waikato have beaten Southland, held on to the shield, 42 points to 11. At half-time, it certainly wasn't that much of a blowout. It was 14 to 11, and Waikato scored like right on half-time. So it was looking like Southland might be in with a shot. But, yeah, second half was pretty much all Waikato. Southland always fight, and I saw an interview with Selby Rickett at full time, and you know, he's realistic but still pretty well spoken dude, and I kind of feel sorry for him because they could really use a win. They are now none from 7 this season for dead last in the championship. Waikato first in the championship, 5 wins and 3 losses. Dwayne Sweeney having a pretty good season. Sevu Reece having a good season. So it is all coming right for the Mulu men. The next one, Taranaki against Harbour. Taranaki, a team under a lot of pressure. Gone down 55 points to 26. I didn't see much of this game at all, but Tavita Lee scored 4 tries. He's another guy, man, does he look magic at this level. At Super Rugby, he looks pretty good, but he doesn't look this good. He looks real magic at this level. Harbour are 5 wins and 3 losses. I mean, Taranaki, what can you say? It's not been a great season so far. They are firmly at the foot of the Premiership, facing relegation, but luckily for them, Counties also had a loss, so there's still time, but it is running out. 2 wins and 6 losses for Taranaki. Bodie Waka still looks alright. But yeah, it wasn't really much to write home about for them. The next one, Canterbury over Hawke's Bay, 49 points to 24. It's another one that I didn't see much of, but from the highlights, there looked to be a fair few kind of good moments in this one. Buckley scored a really good try for Hawke's Bay, but Mitch Drummond really looked the business from what I saw of him for Canterbury. I did a video the other day about an All Blacks kind of C team, and I didn't mention Drummond, but on that form, you probably might even have him in the team because, yeah, he was looking real good. Hawke's Bay, 4 wins and 4 losses, which is not too bad in the old championship. It was always going to be hard going down to Canterbury. Canterbury, 6 wins and 2 losses, second in the Premiership, so definitely don't write them off going into the finals. Oh, did I miss the Wellington game? I did. Because I was going to say, them and Tasman are both doing pretty well. Tasman beat Wellington 28 points to 22. Oh man, it's another one I didn't see much. I missed a fair few of these games. But man, Will Jordan, I just keep mentioning him week after week. He didn't get many minutes in Super Rugby, which just shows you that depth of that Crusaders team. But he is another one who just looks magic at this level. Mitch Hunt looked good from what I saw. Umanga Jensen had some gas from the bench for Wellington, but a pretty disappointing one to lose at home, especially against Premiership rival. I mean, Wellington are now 4th, Tasman up into 1st. So if you're a Tasman fan, things are looking pretty good at the right stage of the season. Yeah, they're gonna be pretty hard to beat. For Wellington, yeah, I mean, people talked about that crowd a bit because it looked pretty sparsely attended, and compared it to the Auckland crowd against Otago, I said, wow, the Auckland crowd was a lot better. But for that Auckland game, they only really open up one side of the ground, and that's the side that the TV cameras face. The whole rest of the ground is absolutely empty, deserted, apart from, I think, one end has some boxes open, but pretty much the whole ground is closed. It's just that one stand that they open, so it looks a bit better on TV. But there were people there. The next one and the final one was Counties going down. So this is another, like the Auckland Otago game, this was a championship team getting a result over Premiership opposition. Northland 24 points to 20 on their double header run as well. So this was their second game of the week. Yeah, good result for them, man. Ranger continues to impress at his age. Jordan Highland looks good. He played a few games for the Blues last season. For Counties, I mean, their forwards still did some work. Got a good line-up move, little try of a rolling maul thing, but 2 wins and 6 losses is not great. It's them and Taranaki really fighting it out towards that bottom end of the Premiership. And Northland, yeah, man, Darren Whitcomb's doing a great job. 4 wins and 4 losses, good enough for 3rd in the Championship. They're going to make themselves hard to beat come the end of that season as well. So, yeah, interesting week of rugby at the Mitre 10 level after the internationals. But next week you're looking at Wellington Auckland is going to be a big game. I will put the full list of fixtures in the description so you guys can have a look. But Wellington Auckland's going to be a good one. Both teams going to be wanting to bounce back from these losses, which were both disappointing and both at home. Northland Waikato is going to be a good one because it's 2 teams at the right end of the table in that championship. Southland Bay of Plenty. If Southland are going to get a win, I feel like it has to be now because that final round they've got the double header. I mean, there have been teams getting good runs off the double header. Waikato did well, and Northland have done well. But generally, it's harder. Auckland have got a double header in their final round as well. So, two teams that need to make hay in the next round would be, I mean, Southland, a win anytime is going to be great. But you feel like at home against another team who's struggling before the double header, this is the time to get it done. Otago against Tasman will be a good one. Otago is at home. Already kind of got one big upset. It'd be a massive one if they could beat Tasman, but that is going to be tricky. But two South Island teams kind of going at it. It will be interesting. As I said, with this round, I missed quite a lot of the games, but I did actually get to go to a game, which was a nice change. I haven't been to Eden Park for a wee while since I got back from overseas, so it has been pretty good. The last game I saw was the Blues getting a hiding from the Sharks at Eden Park, so I don't have good luck when I go to the games, but I'm not silly enough to think it is all about me. But still, you guys let me know your thoughts on the games and the upcoming fixtures, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.